Well, how everyone, and welcome to Timsy's Naked Tarot. Again, this is another Yuletide edition. It is night 3, or the third night of Yule. Again, I am doing it a little bit early. I'm pre-recording this, so it comes out at a set time. And that set time is sunset in the most easterly city of Scandinavia. Okay, so that being said, let's crack on with it all, shall we? We will be doing a rune/tarot read at the end for the coming month of March. Okay, so the third night. The third night of Yule, it doesn't really have a special name. It's not known as the Wild Hunt or anything like that. But, well, you've just had a party for the last 2 nights. Why not have a third party? Yeah, we've still got mead and wine and ale to drink, and there's still food left over from the feasting, so let's crack on with it. It would be sacred to Mana, or Manai, who is the moon goddess, I think, or possibly God. It's the representation of the moon. So we'll be paying homage to the moon and darkness, and probably not just on this night of Yule, probably on most nights of winter, actually, there would always be that lingering thought of Hela and the underworld. It's hard to put yourself in their experience. For those of you who have the imagination enough to cast your mind back 1,000 odd years, and for some of you who have the spiritual skill to cast your mind back 1,000 odd years, imagine the quietness of everything during the night. Snow blanketing the ground, deadening the noises around, the darkness creeping in earlier and earlier towards the winter solstice. There's an impending sense of death and doom around. Things are dying because they're just cold. They're freezing. They can't find the food. They die. Humans, animals alike. Doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, the thought of death and the afterlife and hell and Hela, who is the goddess of hell in the Viking mythologies, it would be on your thoughts all the time. I quite often get up early in the morning. I'm filming this one at about 5 in the morning before I go to work. But I'm quite often up at 2 in the morning. Sometimes I don't go to bed until sort of 1 in the morning. Obviously, I'm not going to bed at 1. I'm waking up at 2. That would just be suicide. But I would stand outside having my cigarette. Yeah. Everywhere's asleep. Everywhere's quiet. It's the closest I could get to being in those times 1,000 years ago, 1,500 years ago, 500 years ago. Yeah. But the noise of modern society still creeps in even then. I can sometimes hear alarm clocks going off early in the morning up and down the road. I can hear distant cars travelling along the main road and things. We are in a society that doesn't sleep anymore. Yeah, okay, we all sleep, but we all sleep at random times. Okay, some people are up doing night shifts, so they're going to work at random times, they're coming back at random times. Some people are just can't sleep, so they're out and about driving. It's quite simple. But back then, it would have been quiet. You would have been able to hear owls calling and the wind blowing through the trees and all that sort of stuff if you were standing outside your house having a cigarette because, well, you don't smoke in the house. I don't know. If you smoked cigarettes back then, who knows? Anyway, so we would be thinking about courage on this night, and there will be stories told about people's amazing feats of courage. You'll be thinking about courage of the coming year. You'll be planning your harvest or your planting season, and you'll be thinking about the month of Lenten, which is March, basically. The spring equinox will be coming. That's basically when the day and night is an even length. And here's another thought. They didn't have clocks, timepieces, mobile phones, what had like time on it. Yeah. And when you start thinking about the length of day difference between, well, yesterday and today, we are talking minutes, at most minutes. Yeah. Uh, Obviously, I've done a little bit of research, pulled up my sunset time for my set city in the eastern Scandinavian reaches, and it's given me a big list of sunset times. Yeah, it is quite that simple. Uh, but they didn't have that then. They didn't have a digital clock. They possibly didn't even have sand timers. Well, they might have, but all it takes is you to not be paying attention when that runs out, and you turn it over 2 or 3 seconds later, every hour or every 12 hours if it's a 12-hour sand timer, and you're out, and you're gradually getting out more and more every time you turn it. Plus, that sand timer might not be an exact hour; it might be 59 minutes and 58 seconds, something like that. Who knows? Again, who knows? We weren't there. We don't know. But still, it's quite amazing that they managed to get it on that day. They know that that was the day. Now, it could just simply be a case of simply counting days, dividing up, yeah, and over time honing it down to that exact day. Anyway, let's crack on with the read. It should be a little bit of a quicker read. I haven't got so much to talk about the Yule night, the third night of Yule. Happy Yuletide, everyone. Yes, it is about the month of March. We would be reminiscing about the month of March, which has just gone, the previous planting season, the beginning of spring, life springing back, and we'll be thinking about the next one to come, and reminding us that this winter won't last forever and it will end. The Yule log should still be burning in the fire. And if it's not the original Yule log, it would have been replaced, obviously. I'm sure that we didn't have one log burning for 12 days. But yet, saying that, I've never actually gone out and stuck a huge log on the fire and timed to see how long it lasts. Might be something I'll have to do one day. And possibly as that log is burning down, we'll be stoking the fire, kindling the flames, and we may be thinking about rekindling friendships at the same time. So let's think about rekindling friendships as well. People you have lost touch with, perhaps this is a good time before Christmas. So it's not looking like it's a Christmas thing I'm doing because it's Christmas time. Before Christmas, reach out to them, see how they're doing. Okay. They may have been sitting around the Yule log telling stories of like the mysterious giantess who mated with Odin and became the mother of our ancestral mother, yeah, the earth goddess, and also at the same time becoming the mother of, here's a word I'm going to stumble on, dagger, which is day, yeah, the time that the sun, I can't remember what the sun's god name is in power, yeah, the daylight hours, and other different stories of time and creation. Remember, they didn't really have writing in as such. The closest they had to writing were the runes, and they started off as a magical, mystical, advice-giving thing more than an alphabet. It got turned into an alphabet as society got bigger and communication had to develop into written communication. It can't all be done orally. Ever played Chinese whispers, or what some people call a game of telephone? Yeah, where one person passes on a message to another and gradually that message changes. Well, that happened a lot before writing, and even after writing, it still happens, even now. Yeah, you will get a written message from someone and you will read it, and then when you relay that message onto someone else, you would ad-lib it, you would change it to the words you want. Sometimes totally unconsciously, you don't even think about it. So, all that being said, this is we'll be reminiscing hopefully tonight on last March, just gone, and we will be thinking about the March to come. Okay, we may be rethinking about rekindling friendships and just tasks that generally need doing. So, on that note, talking about tasks that generally need doing, I'm going to crack on with the read. So, I'm just going to put you on pause for a second, set up the phone, and get it going. Well, okay, here we go. It's going to be the same little type of read as I've done for the last two Yule nights we've done. It will be 4 runes pulling out. One will be for the general energies of the month of March, this coming March. Okay, the next one will be the energies of love throughout the month of March, then wealth, and then the general energies of what's going on in the rest of the world. Okay, so I have already pre-shuffled the tarot with the intentions and already asked the runes for the intentions. So it's just a case of picking and doing. So for the general energies of the month. Well, it's the same energies of last month. So basically everything I said in my last video for February, we can go on to this video. I am actually going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to pull all my runes out in advance. And if you haven't watched the other videos yet, I did make these runes myself when I first started looking into runes and the like. The first thing I thought, even before I started reading any books, was I've just got to make my own runes. Okay, so this is the rune of the horse. It should be a representation of journeys, movement. I suppose if you want, it can be sort of sowing seeds and ploughing the fields and getting ready for tasks. But again, our horse is in reverse. There is some sort of blockage. There will be a warning. There is warnings about travel. Okay, within March. There was warnings about travel in February. There is warnings about travel in March as well. Perhaps if you can put off unnecessary journeys, it could be to your advantage. Again, for some of you, this could be an obvious what happens every month because of weather conditions. Perhaps you live in the more extreme northern reaches of whatever country you live in, and you are still suffering with feet of snow everywhere, or meters of snow if you're in Europe and you use the metric system. I know I am theoretically part of Europe and I should be using the metric system, but I still talk in feet and inches because that's how I was taught by my parents. But anyway, let's get back on with it. Yeah, so there will, so there could be snow. So you might already don't go on any unnecessary journeys or anything. So let's get some runes out. Let's see, some tarot out. Let's see what the tarot has to say about this month. And hopefully we won't have the same cards as we had in last ones, because then if we do, everyone thinks I've just basically copied the video and we talked over it. Maybe that's why I thought about sticking the runes out in advance on this one, because I don't know. Right. We got the 10 of Swords. Okay. These, first of all, it's whatever's causing these travel blockages, these movement blockages, these progress, if you will, blockages, they're all coming to an end. Yeah, some of them might be painful for you. Maybe you have to dig out the snow for a little while longer, but they are all coming to an end. There will be conflict within this month. It is a general monthly reading. It is meant to be, this bit is meant to be generally for you, the viewer. And so this is going to be conflict within you, or not necessarily conflict, challenges, blockages to overcome, testing times. But that sort of all comes down to conflict. You will be conflicted with every one of them. Do I go round it? Do I go over it? Do I go under it? Do I just move it out of the way if it's something blocking your path? If it's a testing time, well, you'll be still conflicted within yourself. Basically, the Five of Wands just boils down to confliction, either confliction with yourself or conflict with other people. Okay, but there is also the prospects of love, or at the very least, you will be thinking about love. Just as by the end of the month of March, you will be thinking about planting and growing things, for your harvest for the coming year, which I would actually strongly suggest you all try, even if you only have enough space for a small window box. Get a window box, put it out there, put the soil in, plant some seeds, okay, grow your own lettuces for the year. That's great, and they taste better than they do from the supermarket. Grow your own carrots, grow your own beetroots. If you've got a lot of land, grow a variety of things. And you don't have to grow the stuff they grow in or sell in supermarkets or shops. The main reason we have orange carrots is because, well, the colour appeals to the people. You can get all sorts of carrots. You can get white carrots, red carrots, purple carrots, okay? But through research and the modern world of, what's it called? It will come back to me. Yeah, our modern way of living. They do research and they found that orange carrots sell better than all other carrots. So that's what they grow. Plus, the orange carrots like to be farmed. They like to grow in nice, neat, orderly rows. They have a lot of natural pesticides. They're resistant to a lot of natural pests and funguses and things. So for the farmer, there is less lossage, more profit. Makes sense to grow. But you can grow any carrot you want. You can grow a red carrot, as I said, purples, whites, and they all have different tastes as well. The same can be said for beetroot, and same can be said for pretty much any plant we eat. They do come in different varieties and they all have different tastes. Some you like, some you don't like. Okay, so yeah, think about planting your own stuff. But this isn't actually a card of planting, unless you love gardening, and it could be. You could be thinking about your love of planting things in the garden. This is a card of love. It's possibly for some love messages coming in, possibly for others you giving off love messages, you telling people that you love them. Okay, but for all of you, it will be a love you have thought about and dreamt about. It will be the future you have wanted. And then we have the Five of Pentacles as well. Now, again, I'm saying this, although this is meant to be a personal part of the read, it is a general read. It may or may not resonate with you, okay? I do have to put that one out there because I'm reading for more than one person. Although this is meant to be for you, the viewer, I am getting this big feel of this is more for just the general energies of the month. Yeah, I'm getting a feel when I pulled this one out, for example, the first thing I felt from that was winter. I feel that a lot of us in the north are going to be experiencing a harsher winter this year, harsher than normal. The snows will be lingering for longer. They will be deeper, etc., etc. And this will be the conflicts and the tests and the challenges. Because for some countries, we're not used to that. For instance, England, we're not used to having lots of snow what lasts months. We're used to having a bit of snow what lasts weeks. Okay, so if it started to snow today, or let's say Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, yeah, and it carried on snowing all the way through January, well, that would freak us out. We don't normally have that. I think the last time we had anything like that was probably back in the 50s, some 70 odd years ago. Okay, obviously, the more northern you go in our country of Britain, yes, the more used they are to having snow because it's obviously colder, more north, closer to the Arctic and all that. It happens more up there. But more in the southern areas where I am, I'm actually in the east of England. It's not so much of a common occurrence. So I do feel a lot of that. But so there is with this Five of Pentacles, there is this element of being left out in the cold, being out in the cold, having to be used to being out in the cold. With this five, these two fives, they are both temporary energies. They will dissipate kind of just as quick as they occurred, but they might occur with a lot more regularity than normal. With the Ten of Swords there, it is indicating everything is coming to an end. Everything, the conflict is coming to an end. The dreaming about the future you want in love is coming to an end, and possibly taking action on it is moving forward. And we'll find out when we do April's read. And the worrying and things of the Five of Pentacles is also coming to an end. But the Five of Pentacles isn't just about being left out in the cold. It is also about financial worries and the like. So it is possible that you are coming to the end of your extra government payments for your heating and electric bills and things like that. Crossing it all, though, is the wish, the hopes and dreams. This is what's like driving the month forward for us all, if you will. The thing what is making all these things happen is our hopes and dreams. Our hopes and dreams may come in conflict with other people's hopes and dreams, thus making conflict. Yeah, our hopes and dreams of this bad weather is coming to an end. Our hopes and dreams of only thinking about, or only hoping and dreaming about love is coming to an end, and hopefully you would have manifested in the love you want. Right. So, and underneath that hopes and dreams, I just saw as I was putting it back on the bottom of the deck was the world. Okay. So let's have a look at what is going on in the love energies for March. Well, there you go. There is one what does not go in reverse, because either way up, it is the same. Okay. So, but it is one that escapes me at the moment, so I'm just going to have to check the book to remind myself what it's called. Yes, I thought I recognized it. This is Iwas. Yeah, it is the representation of the yew tree, rebirth, regeneration, death to a certain extent. So things are dying within love this month, but they are being reborn. Yeah, so possibly the person you had a crush on has rejected you, but as you're walking away in defeat, someone else who has got a crush on you appears. Okay. Yes, rebirth magic. This is, as I said, it literally translates to the yew, the yew tree, which is kind of quite an amazing tree. It is deadly poisonous to humans and other animals, yeah, thus death. But, well, actually, more than just that. Back in the medieval times, we used to make our bows from yew trees because it was the best wood to make it. That's why in England you don't have many yew trees kicking around in wild places. The only place you tend to find lots of them is in churchyards, because they were protected in the churchyard. You couldn't take it from there because it was hallowed ground. Okay. And to a certain extent, people used to be able to pay their taxes, their import taxes, with bundles of yew. When we were getting really desperate for it during the 100-Year War. But there you go, that's a little bit of history for you. The yew tree also, when it dies, when it naturally dies, and it starts to rot away and fall apart and things, as trees do naturally when they die. Not many of us see that happen, because most of the time we chop them down before they become a hazard to our modern society, dropping on power lines and falling across roads and the like. It actually has regrown itself within the rotting carcass of its old trunk. And as it finally breaks away and that old rotting trunk finally breaks open and the sunlight streams in for the first time, there is a new yew tree already growing out of the remains of the old one. It is such an amazing tree. Um, and I'm a carpenter by trade. The colouring of the wood what comes off it is beautiful wood. Anyway, that's just me. It does generally symbolize the cycle of death and rebirth. It is kind of like the death card of the tarot. Okay, so let's see what this has to say for the tarot. A little bit of clarification on it. Oh, well, there we go. Oh, and there's the last one. I'll put that there because then we can all see it come out. We got the Two of Swords. We have got the Strength card. Well, did I not say that we need courage for this month? We'll be thinking about the courage ahead we need. And this is where it is coming into play. And there is the last card. And, well, I'll throw the crossing card straight there as well. So, the Two of Swords. There will be difficult decisions to reconcile. It's basically two truths crossing over. Now, every conversation has two truths. My truth and your truth. Now, my truth of what I'm doing at the moment, your truth of how you interpret it. Okay? How you take on the bits, what resonate with you and the bits what don't. That forms your truth. And I'm telling you my truth when I do the read. With the fact that the Two of Swords is literally two aces of swords crossing each other, there will be conflict between truths. Basically, yes, they are both true to a certain extent, because truth is only true to who believes it is true and who does not. You can tell someone the truth until you're blue in the face and they might not ever believe it. Okay? A lot of that comes with the reputation of yourself. So there will be a crossing of truths, and this will be where the challenges and the decisions have to be made. You have to then take out what you believe out of their truths and how they tie in with yours. You will be needing strength to deal with things. As I said, it's the death card. Some of you will be breaking up in relationships. Well, it's not the death card, it's like the death rune, I suppose. Some of you will be breaking up in relationships. Some of your tree trunks of relationships, if you will be rotting and falling apart. But just like the yew tree, don't worry. There is new growth within. Okay, from the rotting carcass of the remains of your previous relationship, a new relationship will spring forth, like a phoenix from the ashes. And that leads us into the King of Wands. Not that the King of Wands is ever seen as a phoenix rising from the ashes, but it is a fire sign, which does imply ashes. It's a fire energy, I should say. It's not a fire sign. The King of Wands, it is about self-passion. Maybe you'll be going through a stage of playerhood, shall we say. Early morning departures, late night arrivals. Now that'd be what the cockerel represents in the tarot. It actually represents dawning, daybreak. Yeah. There will be a lot of personal achievements, shall we say, within March for you on the love front. The King of Wands is all about personal satisfaction, personal passion. Okay, he's out. He pleases himself before he pleases others. And I say he, could be a he or she you'll be dealing with throughout this month. Doesn't matter. Off the card, I'm getting a he because it's a he on the card. It's a king. Okay, it's that simple. Whenever tarot readers talk about genders, they're putting the gender of what the card is. It's a king, it's a queen, it's a female, it's a male. And sometimes it is a sexless gender on the card, but they will still refer to it as a he or a she because they're feeling that type of energy, a masculine or feminine energy coming off it. So yeah, he sorts himself out passionately first before he sorts others out. Okay, so if you're ever with a king of... No, we won't go down that road. You know where I'm going with that. But yeah, so it could be a case that you need to sort your own passions out before you bow down to other people's passions. Okay. With the Two of Pentacles at the end, there will be juggling Obviously, if you are going through death and rebirth, you will be going at some point through both of it at the same time. Like always, you don't die and be reborn. Actually, I suppose you do. When you think about it, Jesus died and then he was reborn a few days later. When a relationship dies, you don't just walk literally out of the house and into your car and some random stranger's already got in your car while you were in the house breaking up and your new relationship has started. There is always a period in between, but this period in between is still a crossover of the energies. It is still something that needs juggling. There will still be feelings for the old as well as wantings for the new. And powering this whole month will be healing, okay, rest and recuperation, possibly before the busy planting stage of the month. Okay, I'm determined I'm going to get planting and harvesting and stuff into all these reads somehow, because for some reason I'm feeling within the energies this is vitally important this year, that we start growing our own stuff. Okay, not so much for this year, but for future years, shall we say. Yeah, obviously this year is proven, or this year and next year has been proven that prices are going up on things. Oh yes, fantastic. Tesco's might be doing veg for 19p at the moment, but I guarantee they won't be doing veg for 19p all year long. It's a Christmas special. It's helping us out. So that being said, yes, prices of everything have been going up and still will be going up for various different aspects what are going on in the world at the moment, which we might find some more out about down there. So here we go. This is another rune which we can have in either way. It doesn't matter if it's up or down. It is the same meaning either way. The meaning of which I will just have to look up. Okay, I knew there was a reason I needed to look up this meaning and things. It's a rune I don't often pull. Okay, don't ask me why. Yeah, just like tarot cards, sometimes tarot cards come out quite often in reads for various different readers, and you don't see other tarot cards. They come out very little for some readers. This is a rune what comes out very rarely for me. Okay, it is the rune of day. I'm going to try to butcher this pronunciation of it. It is Daggaz. Okay, Daggaz. And again, it's an appropriate rune to come out for this read, because if you go back, if you skipped my little chatty bit at the beginning, go back, because I mentioned about a mysterious goddess mating with Odin, and I said one of the things she gives birth to is day, and we had a little chat about day and daylight and all that. Okay, so generally speaking, this is about breakthroughs, transformations, daylight, and bear in mind we are in the month of equal day and night. Yes, the month of the summer/winter equinoxes, depending on where you are in the hemispheres. Hopes, successes, and balance. Right. So with all that being said, you can see it's balanced actually, because of the way it's formed is like the Six of Pentacles is balanced, because there's six of them. They balance up nicely and things. So yeah, we are dealing with breakthroughs, and what is this? For wealth, isn't it? So we are dealing with breakthroughs, your hopes, transformations. So perhaps this rune is telling us within this month, you may have to change jobs, okay? Or you may want to change jobs. There will be a transformation there, or there might be a breakthrough with your college or university work, and you've been stuck, like having writer's block, and then all of a sudden the inspiration comes in and hits you and things like that. And of course, the days are getting longer. The daylight is starting to shine, and you might start enjoying that week spring sunshine. Okay, you only have about 10 days of week spring sunshine in this month, because like as far as I'm concerned, spring starts on the 21st of the month when you have the equinox. Okay, just the same as winter started yesterday. We are now officially in winter. I've really got to keep an eye on the time because I've got to go to work in a bit, and this one seems to be getting away from me. I thought this would be quicker than all the others because I didn't say so much at the beginning. We got the Queen of Wands for your wealth. We have got the Nine of Cups for your wealth. We have got the Eight of Wands for your wealth, and we have the Ten of Pentacles for your wealth. Well, this is kind of good. Sorry if you just heard some horrible rustling noise there. I was just scratching my ear, and I'm obviously got my earpieces in doing this video. So the Queen of Wands is, again, a bit like the King of Wands. It is about self-passion, okay? So along your wealth lines, you may be self-indulging with your wealth. Maybe you've got a little bit of money left over and you're treating yourself to it. Again, there is an indication of dawn. There could be something new on the horizon. I'm not going to say dawning. It's because we got the rooster in here again. There's something new on the horizon. There's something big coming towards you this month. You have no idea what it is. It could be something you've been manifesting for, wishing for, hoping for with this Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is the minor arcana of the wish card or the star card, which we had crossing up here. Okay, it is also emotionally fulfilling. Perhaps some of you with this rune here, this breakthrough or transformation rune, are moving from one department to another and you will be fulfilled by it. Or perhaps you're moving total different jobs. Yeah, and you're going to start chasing down jobs what actually fulfill you both mentally and physically instead of just your bank balance. Okay, instead of just fulfilling your bank balance. There is forward movement with the Eight of Wands as well. That is probably the key most thing what the Eight of Wands means. Forward movement before you put on the communication and all that. It's just generally with forward movement, you need communication. It can be communication coming out of nowhere. With this particular card out of this particular deck, it is also laying things to rest, okay? Finally dropping something what may have been holding you back to free yourself up to move forward. These are all dead people, okay? They're all being laid in a state of rest. And it does depend on the energy what comes off this card to if I talk about that or not, because sometimes I see them all standing and sometimes I see them all laying. I don't know. There you go. Now feel free, drop in the comment what you see this Eight of Wands as. Are they standing or are they laying? Okay, just a simple standing or laying will do. That'd be fantastic. With the Ten of Pentacles in your wealth as well, things will start to improve for you. Okay, it is kind of like the happy ever after, the life I've dreamed of card. But obviously that is different for everyone. Some of you may dream of being completely off-grid and independent and living on your own little farmstead, supplying for yourself your own food and stuff, and bang, I just got the whole planting in thing in there again. And others of you might, like, your ideal dream to be living in a mansion with people pampering over your every need. Whatever they are, whatever your ideal life is, you will be taking forward movement towards fulfilling it. Okay, but there is a divine timing element about this as well. Quite often this is a card with a farmer on it checking over his crops, and it's an indication that we're up to the end of that and we are starting to harvest. Sometimes it can be just, is the juice worth the squeeze? Yeah, is the effort I put into all this worth what I got out of it? And if you do take up gardening after watching this video and you do have a first season of it, you may feel that at the end. Wow, I got 2 lettuces out of everything I done throughout the whole year. Try to remember the positives. They were tasty lettuces, weren't they? Yeah, much better than the ones you get in the supermarket. So it is that case. But also it is the month of planting out. It is the beginning of spring. We will be planting things to grow on to next year. And also bear in mind, when you've been reminiscing about things that happened in last March, which you should have been doing if you watched the beginning of my video for this night, some things you plant out are biannuals. Onions, you plant them out one year, you harvest them the following year. Yeah, they take longer than a year to reach maturity. Things you may have planted in March may be coming to fruition now in your wealth situation. Okay, maybe they were biannual, maybe they were more than biannual, maybe it weren't this March you done it, maybe it was 2 or 3 Marches ago you planted something and then you forgot all about it and it's been growing there all by itself and now it's coming in to fruition and you need to harvest it. I'm really running out. I might be late for work. Oh well. There we go. So there's for our last one. This is the world. This is generally what is going on in the world. We got Rado. Okay. Rado is all about travel. It's not so much the destination. It's more of the journey. Pay attention to your journeys. Okay. When you're planning them out and things. There will be something to learn. There will be, generally in the world, things being learnt this month through the travels and actions of people they meet on the way. Okay, so there is this overwhelming sense of independence and freedom for March. This could be coming off of bad winters, and obviously people have been trapped in their houses because of feet of snow, and they have kind of developed their own independence. Perhaps power lines have gone down and they've lost the internet, so they've started reading books and things and they remembered what it's like actually reading something like that instead of being fed propaganda through your internet machine. With the Knight of Wands, again, there's going to be a lot of action being taken. There's going to be a lot of spontaneous action out of the blue. No one really saw it happening. Well, this could be all sorts of things. It could be the world taking action and volcanic eruptions where you wouldn't normally get them, earthquakes where you wouldn't normally get them, or bigger and more tremendous acts of God, so to speak. Okay. On a more human level of that card, though, that will be like people taking actions for their own ends, but they will be coming out of nowhere. They will be they will be charging in, but all the time they will have their exit plan already. Okay, for the onlooker, it will look like they're charging in. For the actual participant, it's been thought through a little bit. Okay. We got the Death card coming out. We had the Death rune up here. We've now got the Death card coming out down here for the month. There will be a lot of renewal this month within the world. Who knows what that might be? Possible crashing of monetary systems and the rebirth of new monetary systems. Hell, by the end of March this year, we all might be on Bitcoin. Okay? And there will be a lot of spiritual awakening. Okay, with the Hierophant at the end. It will be a lot of learning. The masses of the people will be learning lots of information. There will be lots of information pumped out during the month of March. And some of this will be spiritual. Some of you will be just be spiritually awakening and then going on your own spiritual journeys. Most of you have probably already been on them because you are sitting here watching a tarot read. But for your information, yeah, there will be a lot of other people who haven't been on them and do not sit here and watch tarot reads will be going on them. Okay, so watch out for that. All you lot who have done it early, yeah, you may now be the guiding hands for all those others. There will be masses of them, trust me. Crossing this is, I want to say conflict. The Five of Swords is actually a card of a false victory and self-sabotagement. People think they're doing things for the right reasons, but they're not. Okay, and in the long term, they will realize that, well, basically, I just shot myself in the foot here. Okay, and again, this is on the masses. This could be people will stand up and riot, possibly, or protest. Should we call it protest first, not so much riot, but they will turn into riots, and that will be where the self-sabotagement was. They couldn't keep it peaceful, and it ended up in violence. And the reason it's self-sabotagement is because 9 times out of 10, once it turns into a riot, the powers that be clamp it down and then don't deal with it because, well, it was an angry mob who were demanding. Yeah, if you can keep your protests peaceful, they tend to listen more, and with numbers as well. But it could be any sort of conflict which ends in a false victory of some description. Hell, perhaps, going to be controversial again here, perhaps Ukraine decide that they're going to launch an offensive this spring into Russia, and it's the thing that makes Ukraine fall. Okay, just an example of what the Five of Swords could be talking about there. Okay, so there you go. That is your read for the coming month of March. Obviously, if you fancy, you can check this against my try reading I done yesterday, try month reading, which was basically the next quarter of the year coming, first 3 months of the year. And you can see how they tie in together. So if this resonates with you, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And to be quite honest, I don't even mind if you don't do that. This is just me having fun doing reads. Okay, so catch you all soon, and Skull.